The last page is that offenders between the age of 20 and 30, that's usually the prime age. Does that mean that I, at almost 60, have no possibility? No. I can tell you I don't, and I won't. But it doesn't mean just because I'm older, that's not out there. As we have known from our own personal experience in a Presbyterian church here in Charlotte, they can be married, they can have their own children. It doesn't mean that something cannot happen. On the back are some facts, some things that are there. You are capable of reading those. The last sheet is the yellow sheet, or it may be white. Excuse me. And it is a sheet that goes through what you can do to help. Read this, look, because you don't ever know when you may find yourself in a situation where you feel like you need to do something. If you don't want to read through it but want to file it away in a file, that's fine too. But it basically goes through the steps of how you, if you are ever faced with a circumstance within your own family or outside family where a child comes to you and says things that make you concerned, how you can keep the door open for that child. I've only had to do that once, and I will tell you, it's not any fun. It's not any fun at all, because everything within you is saying, this can't be true. And that is absolutely, totally, and completely the wrong thing to say and do. If a child comes to you ever with something, the thing to do is to listen. And I would encourage you to do that in other ways. I've raised my 3 children, and I will tell you, they're adults now. But one of the things I learned was when they say something, to listen to it. Maybe not react right away, but to listen to it and be prepared to respond. And just as you would do in normal, everyday circumstances, in these kinds of circumstances, you behave in the same way. When you are in the school building, when you are here as parents, there are staff bathrooms. I recommend that you use those staff bathrooms, that you not go into just the regular boys and girls bathroom. It's just for your protection so that you never have anybody say anything. If you're on a field trip, just being sure that you're never sort of isolated with one child, just pure common sense. Do I say to you, don't ever touch a child? Absolutely not. I think that's what we're called to do as human beings. It is through the touching and the holding sometimes that we give the best message of God's love and of our love and caring for this child. It's a lot of information in a short period of time. Are there any questions? Yes. They're clearly labeled. There's one at the end of that hall down there. If you go down this hall and go through that door, there's one in there. Upstairs, there's one in the middle of the hall going down, and then on the opposite. And then there's one in the health room that you can use. And that's, I think it's just a wise precaution. It just makes sense.
What if you're out with a child and the child needs to go to the bathroom? You're worried, you want to kind of have somebody escort the child. It's not a school bathroom.
Somebody has to go, and I mean, what I always recommend is that you open the door, make sure the child goes in, and you stand outside. And if a child needs help, you go help them. I mean, you use your common sense, but you also, you use your common sense. Yes?
I just wanted to know if you had any additional information for those of us who are one-on-one with these children behind closed doors.
My recommendation is that you're in a place where you're visible, that you not put yourself in a place necessarily where you're behind a closed door and there aren't windows.
I do testing for the admission, so I don't have that option.
We may need to look at that, because that's probably not the best situation. You're not going to do anything, and we know that, but for your own protection, it's not the best situation. I mean, when I do counseling with children, I usually will go in there or someplace else where it's clearly visible.
Just to address the question about the bathrooms, in public places, I'm really concerned about who's in the bathroom.
Sure.
So I'll go in first
and check it out.
See if anybody's in there versus.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that is probably
Ab-
Commonplace, I don't know.
It is a commonplace, and so it is to walk in and say, if you need me, yell. And I mean, but I'm saying don't go into
Yeah,
the stall.
yeah.
You don't have to go
Okay.
necessarily stand outside,
Yeah, okay.
but that you're not going in. You're just there. Any other questions? Isn't this a wonderful topic to start your day with? I repeat, if you get home and you go over all of this and things start stewing in your mind and you've got some concerns, don't hesitate to call me. Don't hesitate to call Dr. Deb or Father Smokey. It's not a topic any of us like to think about, but unfortunately, it's part of our world. Thank you for your time. Go talk about other things the rest of the day.